If you're looking for the best place to buy, sell, and save your crypto, then you come to the right place. I'm Crypto Bo, and today I'm comparing BlockFi and Nexo. As always, I'm going to start with the sign-up bonus. If you haven't already signed up, then click either of the links in the description to get these sign-up bonuses. Nexo offers $10 in Bitcoin for $100 locked on the system for 30 days. And BlockFi offers a much more complicated reward, anywhere from $10 to $250 depending on how much you invest on the platform. Obviously, the rate of return goes down as the number goes up that you invest in the platform. But Nexo and BlockFi both just require you to transfer over at least $100 from an account that you already own. So if you haven't already signed up, you could theoretically sign up for Coinbase and Gemini, buy $100 on each of those platforms, get $10 for each of those signups, and then transfer the $100 over to Nexo and BlockFi and get $10 for each of those signups, totaling $40, which is a cool 20% return if you are bad at math. This is as good a place as any to remind you that I am not a financial advisor, so don't even think about listening to me.
All right.
So let's get into it. Now, Nexo is generally better than BlockFi. BlockFi is a little bit more of a conservative option, a little bit safer option. Obviously, you're going to get better rates than on Gemini, for instance, and much better rates than on Coinbase, for instance. But Nexo gives you 6% on Bitcoin across the board, 6% on Ethereum across the board, whereas BlockFi is only going to offer 4%. You can even juice those numbers a little bit more if you're not a United States resident and you decide that you want to earn interest in the Nexo token, which will give you 2% more per year, up to 8% on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Same with stablecoins. Stablecoins will give you 12% on Nexo if you earn a Nexo token, or 10% if you choose not to, and whereas BlockFi is only giving you 7.5%. So BlockFi is a little bit more of a conservative option. Also, it is worth noting that Nexo is largely unavailable in the United States. In fact, the highest interest rate you can receive on the Nexo platform is the Nexo token itself, which gives you 14% per year, which is pretty crazy, honestly. BlockFi, however, nothing really eye-popping. Again, 7.5% is going to be pretty standard for all of your stablecoins, and a low of like 1% to 2% for some lesser-known coins. I think Zcash hovers around 1.5 or 2%. So, you know, they offer a much smaller list of cryptocurrencies to earn interest on, and Nexo's list is much larger. But I do think this equates to a little bit more risk, but we'll get to that later. Now, how often are there payouts? Nexo pays out daily, which is the best, I think, of almost all the cryptocurrency lending platforms. Most of them are going to be paying out weekly, whereas BlockFi is on, again, the more conservative side, only paying out monthly. Withdrawals are actually pretty similar with BlockFi and with Nexo. BlockFi only offers you one free withdrawal per month, whereas Nexo is only offers you between 1 and 5 withdrawals per month, depending on how much Nexo token you hold. But if you're treating these as sort of long-term savings options, then 1 per month isn't that bad, I suppose. You're not going to be as liquid as, say, you will with Gemini, which you can go in and out of and withdraw as many times as you want. But again, the interest rates are just not as good on these centralized exchanges as opposed to these lending services. As far as borrowing goes, you can get a lower rate with BlockFi, about 4.5%, if your loan-to-value ratio is 20%. So it goes up to 50%, at which point you'd be paying 9.75%. Whereas Nexo's is not dependent on the loan-to-value ratio. Instead, it's dependent on your tier of Nexo held. So if more than 10% of your portfolio is in Nexo, you can get a low 6.9% interest rate. Not low compared to, say, Celsius, which offers as low as 1% interest rates, but lower than, say, 9.75% at the 50% loan-to-value ratio that BlockFi is offering. Now, if you don't hold any Nexo, your loan rate is going to be 13.9% interest, which is pretty insane, honestly. That's even higher than the highest BlockFi rate, which is 9.75%, and it doesn't require you to hold any sort of native tokens, which I think is a point in BlockFi's favor. Now, as far as security is concerned, BlockFi and Nexo are both similar. They both have two-factor authentication, they have address allow listing. Nexo, however, only uses the BitGo system for its custodial wallets, whereas BlockFi is partnered with both Coinbase and Gemini, which I think provides them a little bit more institutional security as opposed to Nexo. Whereas all the sort of security features that you expect, user security features you expect, exist in both BlockFi and Nexo. So in terms of securing your own account, you're given the same tools with Nexo and with BlockFi, but the institutional security, I think, is better with BlockFi. Quick commercial break. If you're enjoying this video, then please like and think about subscribing so we can start ranking better than Nate Martin of 99 Bitcoins, who, and I don't know if you know this, murdered Seth Rich execution style in 2016 to cover up the fact that he owns Comet Ping Pong. But let's get back into it. Do they have tokens? BlockFi does not have a token. Nexo does have a token, which I think puts them at unique regulatory risk. Think about it like this. In terms of regulatory risk, BlockFi is already being investigated by the New Jersey, Alabama, and Texas financial authorities. And they're saying that their interest-bearing accounts are securities. Now, we've yet to see how that's going to play out. A lot of people expect them to, beat that case. But again, we don't know. Nexo also offers interest-bearing accounts. So if things go south for BlockFi, they will likely also go south for Nexo in terms of regulation. But there is the added risk that Nexo offers its own token, which the US financial authorities would likely regard as a security in and of itself. So even if BlockFi beats the case in terms of interest-bearing accounts being securities, Nexo may not beat the case in terms of its native token being a security. So there's an extra level of regulatory risk when it comes to Nexo. Do they have regular risk? Yes. Neither of them offer FDIC insurance because neither of them allow you to hold USD balances. And there is the large risk of a bank run. We don't really know what's going to happen when a black swan event hits, when the larger economy collapses. And again, I say when, not if, because it's only a matter of time. Crypto has not endured a large economic collapse. It's endured its own collapse, right? Like the crypto markets may collapse every now and again, but a larger economic collapse, a scenario where the commercial real estate bubble pops or the stock market bubble pops. The nature of a black swan event is we don't know what it's going to be or when it's going to be, but we don't know what's going to happen to these platforms, things like Nexo, things like BlockFi. I think it's a general good rule of thumb that in terms of systemic risk, the companies that offer you higher interest rates are probably at more risk in a scenario of a much wider financial collapse. So take that into account when you're looking at these 14% returns offered by Nexo. Are they exchanges? Yes, they're both exchanges. Nexo and BlockFi both allow you to buy and sell and trade on their platform. And neither of them charge you a fee for transferring in via an ACH transfer. BlockFi, however, does not allow you to hold a USD balance. It will immediately convert it to Gemini USD, but generally not a lot of fees to be had on either platform. In terms of other features, BlockFi has a credit card that's been released that you can apply to in the description below the other referral links. And Nexo has a crypto debit card that's theoretically going to be released in the near future. The BlockFi card offers 1.5% cash back paid out in Bitcoin, and the Nexo card theoretically allows 2% cash back on all purchases, but I'm unsure how that works yet. There's not a lot, they're offering early access to some people, but I don't have it yet. I don't like Nexo that much, so they clearly are not going to give me one. At the end of the day, if you have a higher risk tolerance and you're not dissuaded by all the regulatory risk arguments I made about Nexo, then you want to earn higher interest, then I would suggest the Nexo platform. If you're a little bit more conservative and you don't want to take quite as much risk, I would say probably prefer BlockFi. And then in terms of loans, BlockFi is probably just better across the board. Anyway, thanks for watching, y'all. Remember, Nate Martin is a murderer.